First up, I'm going to introduce Tom Allen and Riley Peake. Tom is with Old Dominion University, and Riley's with our Learn Lesson team. And we're really excited to share this announcement about a collaboration with Old Dominion and the Learn team. So take it away, guys.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks. When I was a beginning assistant professor at ODU, which is also my alma mater, back in 1998, I began working with oceanographers. I'm a geographer, a physical geographer, with a background GIS and remote sensing. And we pretty soon realized we had something golden to work with. We were early lucky to get some support from NASA and the Earth Science. They called it Mission to Planet Earth at the time. And we developed a lab and basically a set of certificate courses that would work together called the Certificate in Spatial Analysis of Coastal Environments. So that was 1998. So that's quite a while ago. And I've watched GIS and certainly all the data science and even the availability of data in the oceans just magnify and explode. Recently, working beyond the coast, I started teaching a class in marine geography with a heavy emphasis on GIS. And last year, I gave a short talk about this new course that I was offering at ODU. So here, this is just a story map, basically story map syllabus that I created to share that. You can also find it a little more easily, tinyurl.com/marinegis. But welcome you to visit that. It's sort of an upper level GIS course, and we bring in oceanographers, geologists, marine biologists, engineers, and geographers all together to explore this area. This certificate this plugs into is also online. It's fairly unique, I think, in the country, and we're going to be modifying that, but it's a combination of courses in geospatial technology and science and oceanography. The topics span the whole gamut of things that you've kind of seen through this meeting, and we use Esri products intensively, extensively, all the things we saw in the last session, EMUs, looking forward to using a lot more of the new ones. Some things that I think you've been using with drones, we've kind of been absorbing a little bit more increasingly, habitat data. But the key thing that kind of has been dawning on me as I go through every semester and every year revising the class, keeping up with the amazing technology, is I want to share this. The problems and what I call the intellectual responsibility of an academic is to expand knowledge. And so recently, the education program in Esri has been developing these Learn Lessons, which are phenomenal. And there seemed to be an opportunity here to use that platform to share advanced technical scientific instruction and to basically share out the laboratory exercises that I've been developing and basically bring them to a much wider audience in an accessible way. And in return, Esri will be helping me share that information and keep up with the advances in the software. So these are just examples of just some of the data. I think one of the first ones we might actually work on with Keith Van Graafland helping is using AIS, ship track data, and doing vessel density and other types of analysis. But we've also got Arctic and Antarctic and multiple marine site suitability modeling data. The Living Atlas has also made life a lot easier and more powerful and capable. We can get to problems and test hypotheses with data a lot more easily than was ever possible before. So I just wanted to basically sort of lay down the gauntlet to any other academics in the audience that you might be able to approach either myself or Esri to share your science and bring it to a broader audience. And the parallel, when we heard from Tim Hawthorne, was kind of the citizen science, I think, is we really need to engage a much wider community out there and bring all that we can to bear for the ocean's solutions and climate change. It's easy to, as a scientist, kind of look and see the problems coming down the pike. I live at about 5 feet above sea level in Norfolk, and we have recurrent flooding. We have harmful algal blooms, storm surges, and so forth. And I think Aldo Leopold, the naturalist, has a quote that I like to cite. It's, the price of an ecological education is to live in a world of wounds. But further on in that quote from his Sand County Almanac is also, you can either curl up into like a fetal position, or you can become the doctor. And sometimes the doctor is confronted with a patient who thinks they're not sick. But that's part of our challenge. So thank you for having me, Esri, and I'll hand it off now.
Thanks, Tom. So my name is Riley Peake. I'm a geographer and a GIS education advocate here at Esri, and the team lead for Learn ArcGIS. So I'll just give you a little bit of information about the site itself. If you haven't heard of or visited the Learn ArcGIS site before, we're pretty easy to find. We're just at learn.arcgis.com. And just while I'm up here, I'll also point out we are translated into 6 different languages. Learn ArcGIS is a problem-based learning website where we share real-world stories and scenarios of subject matter experts for the purpose of helping others engage with GIS. Our goal is really to help new and existing users learn by doing, give users seamless access to the tools of GIS to truly understand how they can either build a foundation of skills or to improve upon their daily work and tasks. The site is freely accessible, so all of the maps and data that you find on the site are shared publicly through ArcGIS Online. If you're investigating a new piece of software, or maybe haven't purchased or installed yet, we also have a free 60-day membership that will give you access to a sandbox of products to start working with the tools and the apps. I'll just take you over to our gallery now. So our gallery contains almost 150 items right now. Each is a self-contained, self-guided, hands-on exercises on a wide range of products and subject matter areas. We break it down by, you can either search, but we also have it by capabilities, by products. You can see we've got a pretty wide range of products in there now. Industries, and then different types of medium that they're delivered in. So I'll just show you one in particular here. One of our newest resources at Learn ArcGIS is a selection of learn paths. And what those are is we curate collections of 5 of the best resources that we have in the gallery on any number of topics, and we present them in a pathway. Today, we published the Try ArcGIS for Ocean Solutions Learn Path. We start off the path with just 2 ArcGIS online lessons. The first is No Dumping, Drains to Oceans. This was written by Aileen Buckley. And in this lesson, for example, you create a layer for the storm drain, create a watershed, downstream path from the storm drain, and then you share your map. So we move on, you get into remote sensing and imagery analysis, this quick little 30-minute exercise. Monitoring whales with a multilingual survey. This was written by Amy Work. Some of you may know Amy. But this was about some of her work that she was doing in Costa Rica, where she built a bilingual survey for the fishermen in the local communities to monitor whales when they were out doing in their fishing expeditions. This one here, after that, this whale monitoring survey, that's the Survey 1, 2, 3 lesson, so we expose you to a different software piece. Then we start to move on into more ArcGIS Pro lessons, maybe a little bit more complex scenarios and analyses. So model water quality using interpolation, written by Eric Krauss, who I think maybe spoke here this morning. And then Explore Future Climate Projections, which was authored by Charlie Fry. So what is unique, really, I think, about what we're trying to do with Tom here? So Tom was really one of the first university educators that approached us and said, "Hey, I want to give you my labs." And we thought, wow, this is such rich content and something I think fits very well into what we do here at Learn. And so we're going to be collaborating together on creating Learn lessons that will maybe enhance, supplement, or mimic the scenarios and data that Tom has compiled for his labs. And for us, this is really more than just about education. This is about supporting, learning from, and engaging with a larger community of educators and researchers who make up a really large portion of our most engaged users. We're working on ways right now to create a common space for educators and researchers like Tom to promote and share their work with others. We hope that this is following a pattern that we've seen over the last decade in the realm of software and data, which has typically been very closely guarded, but over time has started to move into more of an open space, open source, and sharing with the greater community. So that's really, I think, what we're hoping with this type of content and the work that Tom has done and that you all are doing. So this might be a little ways off, so I'm just sort of projecting some visions here, but I really envision something that's similar to the Living Atlas. So if you've been to the Living Atlas, it's a place where you can go and contribute authoritative data. And we really see where we're heading is creating this space, this community for educators to come together and contribute, share, have dialogue, and really promote and support the work that they are doing in their particular organization. And I think this also is a way to not only share their work with their peers, but also to expose and inspire a broader audience of maybe younger people and engaged citizens to these rich, real-world scientific analyses. I actually had a high school teacher yesterday that I was speaking to, and she said, "Oh, can we use that in our grade 12 class?" I'm Canadian, so I say grade 12. But in our seniors class, and I said, "Yeah, absolutely. I think that this is something before they even get to university, that they, potentially that's something for them is a light bulb moment where they say, what, this is maybe the field I want to go into." So I do really want to thank Tom for being so open and forward thinking about this, and for helping us really take a step towards reaching our goal of moving into the next phase of scientific GIS education. So thank you, Tom.
Stay out here.
Cheers.
So I really think this is kind of part of the open data movement, right? It's Tom is surrendering this fantastic body of work, and in exchange, he gets these fantastic Learn lessons that he can still use in his classroom. But think, you professors out there can use them in your classrooms, and it really is scaling this massive work.
Yeah, and if you're kind of an analyst or a heavy user, the model's been there a long time already in terms of sharing models, Python scripts, data sets, and so forth. But it's been harder, I think, for academics under a little bit of the force of publications and other things to kind of share. We've had course management systems, so we kind of create these little silos inside our own campuses. And so this is a nice platform for us to be able to do this sharing.
Excellent. Well, thanks again. And how about that, everybody?
Thank you.
Thanks, Riley.
Thank you.